Welcome back to the channel. Sergeant Ractliffe has just told Time Sport in the interview that if he fails at Manchester United, he will step down. And he went ahead and said that he doesn't see himself failing at Manchester United because the moment United will start playing a good game and winning games, things will change. That's Jim Ratcliffe, a co-owner of Manchester United, saying that if he fails, he will leave Manchester United, which to me, I see it being impossible. To me, I see it as if Sir Jim Ratcliffe is just bluffing. I'll say this is a joke of the year. We know Sir Jim Ratcliffe can't leave Manchester United. He can't leave because he came to Manchester United to bail out the Glazers when when the Glazers wanted to sell Manchester United to someone else who could have a full ownership. But what they do, they came in to bail out the Glazers and bought the 27% shares, and that made the Glazers still stay here at Manchester United. And that's not the point. The point's about Ineos saying that if they'll fail, they'll leave Manchester United. Looking at Ineos' history in world of football, let's say in world of sports, and the first time that Ineos were in charge of football club was back in 2017 when they bought Club Lucerne of Club Lucerne of Swiss back in 2017. As I said earlier, that was their first adventure into football, and since then, the past 8 years, that club hasn't have any success. The past 8 years, that club has been relegated twice. That shows that Ineos have failed at that club. And have they left? They haven't left. And they want to say that if they felt Manchester United, they will leave. A Manchester United team that has a big fan base in the world. A Manchester United team that regenerates huge revenues compared to Club Lucerne, and you want to tell me that Ineos will want to leave Manchester United? That's just a joke. Another football club, that's OGC Nice of France. Since Ineos took charge, bought that club in 2019, they haven't had that much success. The past 5 years before Ineos took charge of Club Nice have finished in the top four 3 times. But since Ineos took over, it's now been, I'll say, it has now been 6 years. That club has only finished once in the top four. And the first finish under Ineos with the Club Nice was in the fifth position. Ineos took charge in the first season, they finished fifth position with OGC Nice. That shows they haven't had much success with Nice. And those the past 6 years, since 2019 up to now, they have sacked 6 managers. And you want to tell me that they'll want to step down Manchester United, whereas they haven't stepped down at Ineos. They haven't sold that club to another person because they haven't had that success. Because if Sir Jim Ratcliffe is saying that he will step down as Manchester, if he'll fail at Manchester United, and yet he hasn't stepped down in Ineos, he hasn't sold that club, looking that he hasn't had that much success, I would say again, he's just bluffing, he's just joking, and he's just lying to us. If he could have really showed that he really stepped down, if he could have stepped down from Nice, stepped down from Lucerne, knowing that he hasn't brought in much success to that club, I'll have believed him when he said that he will step down to Manchester United when things will not work well. But being that he hasn't stepped down in those two clubs, that showed that he knows was just lying, and that he at Manchester to stay forever with the Glazers, just sinking the club, just sinking the club. And the only sport I'll say that they've been successful is the cycling sport. That Ineos Grenadiers, when they bought it back in, I think, 2019, that's the only sport that have just been successful. Mercedes, nothing, but they are still there. I think the sailing team, the Ineos Britannia, they haven't had much success, but have they left? They are still there. They want to tell me that they'll leave Manchester United if they fail, or they'll step down. Sergeant Rackliffe, stop playing. Manchester United fans, stop playing. To us, we know you're here to stay. You're here to pocket more money into your pockets, being that you are working with the Glazers, working together. And we saw last season, at the end of last year, they bought 1% of Manchester United shares. Now they have 28% shares. That shows that they're here to stay forever. They're here to stay, and they're not planning to leave, even if things fails. Looking that United are planning to build in a new stadium that will be built in the next 5 years. It's being said that Ineos are the ones who will build that stadium with their money. That shows that even if things fails, they will be here to they will be here at Manchester United forever because they have a stadium to build, and that shows they are sticking with Manchester United here forever. That thing that he's saying that he will leave, he will step down if things won't work well for him at Manchester United. I would say he's just lying. You can see Sergeant Rackliffe has just been doing more interviews. I think this is the second interview he's been doing this year, second interview, instead of him just focusing with the club and seeing how the club will be moving forward. So far at Manchester United, the only coach they've hired is one. Sacking Eric Ten Hag, I won't say that. I won't put that on them because in the first place they didn't bring in Eric Ten Hag. Let's see in the next 5 years how many coach will Ineos sack for them to get the success. The moment that Amorim will be sacked after 2.5 years because his contract Manchester United is 2.5 years. The moment that Amorim will be sacked in 2.5 years, that when we'll see that Manchester United Ineos are not patient. That shows they've already panicked because Amorim here at the club. That shows they need to be here for the next 5 years for things to work, knowing that the squad that we have are not looking good. Also, for them to be successful in this club, they need to support Amorim in terms of transfer. We can see in the Jan transfer window they didn't support him, yet they want this club to succeed. And yet it's been Sergeant Ratcliffe is saying that if the club won't succeed under him, he will step down. And yet he doesn't. He didn't back Ruben Amorim in the January transfer window. So Amorim, so Sergeant Ratcliffe, this thing of saying that he will step down, I know it's just lying to us, and we know he's here to stay forever with the Glazers. I think that's all I had for you. Thank you for watching. Talk to you in the next one.